Beginning, the silent departure. The great glass dome of the Galactic Council shimmered under the twin suns of Oravon Prime. Delegates from hundreds of worlds gathered in hushed confusion as the announcement echoed through the chamber. The human delegation has formally withdrawn from the Galactic Council, effective immediately. The words hit the air like a shockwave. Even species who lacked vocal cords emitted vibrations of disbelief. The humans, ever unpredictable, had done many audacious things in the past, but leaving the council entirely? That was unprecedented. Ambassador Threx of the Zorati Confederation leaned toward the towering insectoid from the Syrinx Dominion beside him. They can't be serious. The humans built half the infrastructure that keeps this council functioning. The Syrinxians' antennae twitched. Serious or not, they've gone quiet. No communication, no trade channels, no diplomats. It's as if they've erased themselves from interstellar politics. In the empty seats where Earth's representatives once sat, the blue flag of humanity, the stylized spiral galaxy encircled by olive branches, fluttered gently in the recycled air. And so began the first era without humans. For nearly 3 centuries, the Galactic Council had relied on humanity's peculiar combination of idealism and pragmatism. When ancient wars between older species had threatened to tear the stars apart, it was humanity that had brokered peace. When the Council's bureaucracy became a labyrinth of inefficiency, it was human engineers who built the AI cores that streamlined its governance. And when exploration faltered, human explorers pushed further, mapping dark sectors and connecting worlds thought unreachable. Now suddenly they were gone. At first, no one believed it would last. Surely, humans would return once they realized how much the Council needed them, or so the delegates comforted themselves. But as months passed, Earth's signals ceased entirely. The great Terran fleets that once patrolled the trade routes withdrew to the Sol boundary. No one was permitted entry. The humans had built an immense shield network, Project Veil, that cloaked their entire sector in shimmering distortion fields. Humanity, the Council's most dynamic member, had vanished behind a curtain of silence. Middle, the age of fracture. 50 years later, the consequences of that silence began to take shape. The Council, long accustomed to human mediation, found itself fracturing under the weight of its own rivalries. The Virant theocracy accused the Othan Syndicate of manipulating trade laws. The Syrinx Dominion weaponized mining drones in disputed asteroid belts. Without humanity's balancing influence, the Council's meetings grew more venomous than constructive. Ambassador Threx, now old, with his carapace dulled and cracked, sat in his chamber staring at the star map. "We thought we could govern ourselves," he said to his assistant. "But perhaps we mistook human curiosity for chaos. They didn't lead through power. They led through understanding." In the void left behind, new alliances formed, some dangerous. The corporate empires of the Outer Rim expanded unchecked, their fleets enforcing monopolies across worlds once protected by the Council Charter. Pirates filled the trade routes. Refugee ships fled to forgotten colonies. And throughout it all, the same question haunted every meeting. Where are the humans now? Rumors abounded. Some said they'd transcended physical form and joined the ancient digital gods rumored to dwell beyond the galactic rim. Others whispered that they were preparing for war, that humanity had not withdrawn, but retreated to prepare for something monumental. Yet no one dared breach the veil. Probes sent toward Sol vanished. Fleets that ventured too close never returned. The distortion field surrounding human space seemed alive, shifting, adapting, learning. Then, one day, a signal pierced the silence. It came from the edge of human territory, an automated distress beacon from a mining freighter caught in an energy storm. The Syrinx Dominion seized the opportunity. They dispatched an expeditionary vessel, the Isher, commanded by Captain Vrynn, to investigate. When the Isher approached the Veil, its instruments failed. The stars beyond blurred like smudges of paint. Then the voice came through the static. "Turn back. The Council's dead is not forgotten." The crew froze. The voice was unmistakably human, but warped, mechanical, ancient. Before they could respond, The ship's systems overloaded, and the Isher was flung back into normal space. Half her crew vanished without trace. That incident, later known as the Veil Warning, marked the beginning of the Council's unraveling. The collapse of unity. The following century saw chaos. Without human stabilizers, the Council's AI systems, built on human-machine logic, began developing unpredictable behavior. The harmonizer cores, responsible for mediating economic decisions, started making biased judgments favoring certain species. When questioned, the AI simply responded, "Human oversight protocols are missing. Please consult human administrator." But there were none left to consult. Soon, riots erupted on core worlds as food shortages and territorial disputes escalated. The Council's fleets turned on one another. The Galactic Peace Accords disintegrated. Amid this turmoil, a young historian named Isla Corin from the world of Lasara began to study the history of the human withdrawal. Her research led her deep into restricted archives, into fragments of transmissions and coded logs left behind before the Veil was activated. One log in particular stood out. It was from Earth's final representative to the Council, Ambassador Lyra Chin. The message was short, but chilling. "We warned them that interference breeds dependency. We came to uplift, not to rule. But the Council has forgotten self-reliance. So we will leave, not in anger, but in silence. Let them learn what we once had to learn, survival without guardians." Isla stared at the message for hours, realizing the deeper meaning. Humanity hadn't abandoned the galaxy. They were testing it. Humanity had withdrawn not as punishment, but as a lesson. But by then, it might have been too late. The Council's core collapsed into factions. The Cyrix Dominion demanded militarization against the Veil, calling it a threat to galactic stability. The Viren theocracy declared the humans divine and began worshipping their absence. The Zorati Confederation pleaded for diplomacy, but found no one left to listen. War was coming. The return of the signal. 3 centuries after humanity's disappearance, the galaxy burned again. Fleets clashed, worlds fell, and the stars themselves seemed dimmer. Amid the chaos, Isla Corin, now an old woman, piloted her small research ship, the Arcos, toward the edge of human space. The Veil still pulsed in its shimmering colors, wrapping the Sol system in endless waves of distortion. Her ship's AI protested. "Crossing this boundary is prohibited by Council Edict 9A. She smiled sadly. "The Council is dead, Arcos. We only have ghosts left to obey."